Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors. And this is your breakfast bankroll for Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Welcome aboard. Grab your cup of Joe and let's go. On my description this morning on the show, I talked about the huge MLB slate, the NHL slate. I forgot there's two NBA games, playing games. The playoffs are here. Can you imagine that? And it didn't that it slipped my mind. And it's just we have a big board. Couple little stuff to get off the desk and chest. Shout out to Darren M of the 240. Welcome to the ECSI family, Mr. DMAC himself. Um, if you are a Terrapin fan, well, I'm glad that you joined now and not during the season because the Terrapins go by a different name for us here because they got us a few times. But we'll get into that when we talk some basketball in season there. I got my Dino shirt on. Scotty knows what they're all about. We sponsor a national softball team, and they go all over the country, these big tournaments. And I have on the back, this was the shirt that was given to me for last year. We have East Coast Sports Investors on the back with the logo. My favorite number 45 for Mr. Pedro Martinez. So that is what I have on today. Shout out to longtime family, Mr. Marty Lowe. Happy birthday today, Marty, if you are listening. We wish you nothing but the best today. We might even have a special little birthday present from me and Scotty coming soon later today. We'll talk about that. What else? 1-1 in the ECSI VIPs are technically graded. That puts us at 7-2 to start the season. We also went 2-0 on Sunday, which that was in the action parlay. I don't grade those the same because when you're playing the parlay, you sometimes would go with different. You would go with a minus 300 on a money line versus a run line or something like that. So we're 7-2 to start the baseball season. Caught some late movement and steam on Oakland yesterday. We jumped in the first 5 plus a half run plus 115, and Patino gets hurt right away, and that was an easy box to wire. And the second game, you know what? I'm not saying I got cute. I lost. We lost. We had the Giants first 5 minus a hook minus 105. Took a 1-0 lead, then tied 1-1, then gave up a run 2-1, and then I don't know if anyone was up late watching it. 2-1, bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, a guy on first, and we hit one to the wall that was caught. So we were within about 3 feet of cash in that one. But there were a lot of LOBs for the Giants, and that's typically what they were famous for last year. Get guys on base, and whether the kids or the seasoned vets were going to push them across. Great win by the Padres, and a great job by Scotty. He talked about Martinez, and not a lot of people would know. But big day today. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's talking about today, what he's saying. The one, the only Mr. Scott T. Webb. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Jeff. And I can just tell you that it's baseball, man. So that stupid ass Mets bullpen yesterday cost me a 3-0 damn day. All dogs, the goddamn bastards.
And let me stop you right there because we've talked at length, and we love the Phillies this year. We did. We love their lineup. At least I did. I know you were talking about the way they set up their lineup. You thought they could have done different things, maybe to lengthen it even more. And obviously, they're going to go as far as the back end of their bullpen. And so if advantage, I'm going to just play Monday morning quarterback devil's advocate. Okay. If we know that that's their weak point, and we thought, you think the Mets with their bullpen, Diaz has an edge. So the thought, I'm just throwing out there, was the thought, why would I go first five when I think I have the edge in the back nine, correct?
That's exactly why I played it the way I did. I mean, I was at a point, I knew where I wanted to go, but the issue was the issue for me was, okay, do you play it first five? Do you play a full game? And I'm like, the only reason that you don't play a full game is if you have a disadvantage in the bullpen. So I'm like, I don't have a disadvantage in the bullpen. I may need to beat up the Phillies bullpen here to win the game. So I left it as the way it was. And of course, they're ahead 4-0 in the eighth inning. 4-0 in the eighth inning. And it doesn't matter at this point. It's baseball. Baseball is baseball. So whatever. I go 2-1 yesterday. I win with and I still say damn, I should have been 3-0. But anyway, I still win with I had Toronto and Manoah yesterday, and boy did he look good. He was just phenomenal yesterday.
Big time monies, that we have in Vegas on him and in fantasy land. And I'll just be very critical at this point. I love the strikeouts. I love the no runs. I didn't like the 4 walks, but that's for another story.
Well, I don't think you're going to see that every game from him, but I think he only gave up like 2 hits, right? I mean, it was
is against the Yankees. It was his opener, so hats off to him.
And I was on San Diego and Martinez yesterday. And again, I'm not. Let's just say this. I'm not a big San Francisco Giants guy. That doesn't mean I won't be on them today or tomorrow or whatever. I mean, every day is a different day, and there's different matchups and different things. But they overachieved last year, and I'm expecting them to regress to a normal season this year. And I am much higher on the Padres than probably a lot of people are. But so I was pointed in the right direction yesterday. I'm off to a 9-4 start, Jeff. 4.65 units to the good. And the 2 of those 4 losses are that one Padres loss where that shit was holy crap. And they lost in, I don't remember what it was, whatever. It was that walk off by the Arizona Diamondbacks or whatever. And this damn Mets loss. So 2 of those 4 losses are games that certainly could have been winners. So anyway, I'm off to a pretty good start.
Shout out to TJ. Yes, he goes that Mets and the damn bullpen. And you know what? I loved the Edwin Diaz signing back a few years ago. He did have a bad year. I don't have the line in front of me who gave up most of the damage. But again, a Phillies team where you can't sleep on because, hey, you're cruising. You got to, you got the 4-0 lead. And that's the hardest thing about baseball. Is you're sitting there, you're feeling good, you're feeling great. You might have gone to the kitchen, made yourself a nice sandwich. You got yourself a late night cocktail, and you're all giddy because you're getting, you're 6 outs away to cash a ticket, and then bing, bang, boom, here we go, and that's baseball. But I'll say this. It's going to happen to all of us all year. It happened to us earlier this year. Our 2 losses are from bullpens as well. And but we're excited. We're both of us, Scotty. We're seeing the board real well. And if anyone watched yesterday's show, just a perfect example how Scotty's talking about Martinez, how Scotty's talking about certain pitches, and how my eyes see it entirely differently. Meaning, I'm seeing the opening line, so I do a lot of trust and respect the opening lines. And I was reading social media yesterday, and one of our colleagues in these lanes are just getting blasted because he does his work real early in the night, meaning in the early mornings when the opening numbers come out. And I talk to you at length, and I talk to anyone here that wants to listen, where we actually see behind the scenes an opening number of 180. Okay. And by the time it's released to the public, it's 135, 136, 140. And so he's showing the discrepancies on his releases and his money lines because he's using those opening lines, which, to be perfectly honest with you, unless you have sharp connections and you're one of the chosen few at certain one of these books, you can't get either one of those sides. You're just releasing information, which technically is the wrong information because those aren't going to be the actual the actual opening numbers.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of ways that people provide what they think is data, and I know that the line reader guys, not you, but I mean I know the line reader guys use whatever information they can get their hands on to make their arguments for whatever they're doing, and sometimes it's exaggerated nonsense, because that line was never available to the general public, and that line now is whatever the line is, and you're not making your wagers based on what the line is currently. So I do that too. Now I want to know what the opening number kind of was. I want to know, but I don't really use open numbers. I go and see, okay, well, here's what Circa says. Okay, well, if Circa says it, you can go bet it. So I kind of go do that, and then I put that shit out last night every day. My numbers are out against those numbers every single day, and it's called Webby odds. So if you ever see it, that's what it is. It's on the internet, and it's in the Discord channel, and it's on my website. So I'm trying to put it out there so people can see it. So anyway, that all being said, yeah, I think that the way you see games and the way I see games are totally different. But that's what the beauty of what we do is. Nobody does this. Nobody sits on these channels and these lanes, and you and I don't argue and fight over. So we just present whatever it is, and if we're on the different sides of things, then we're on the different sides of things. It doesn't, it is what it is. So I will say this. I like the idea that we do baseball different and we do baseball better than any other people out there. Now, one thing everybody needs to know about me is I like my number. I don't like the sports books number, so I bet based off my numbers. Now, so I don't even really follow the line moves that much. Now, what I do and we'll get into this as the season kind of goes on, is maybe the closing bell shows. A lot of times I'll pick off a play that has moved the farthest away from my number and say, hey, this is the one I'm going to play today. And I do that a lot. And that number usually comes in pretty good, or that play usually comes in pretty good. So that's another way that I use those things. In baseball, I don't look at line moves that much. I don't respect any of it that much. I don't care which way it goes. If it goes for me, great. If it goes against me, it doesn't matter to me. I'm using my number against theirs. Obviously, Jeff's way is way different than that. He's going to way more involved in the line numbers and the moves, and rightfully so. Most people are. Now, I will also tell you that if it comes to a spread number, I'm way involved in what those numbers look like and what those numbers are. Like if we talk about the basketball today, Cleveland and Brooklyn, that number opened, I think, at 8 or whatever, 8.5, and now it's up to 9.5. And you got to respect that. You got to follow that and figure out what's going on. Now, my number doesn't say it's the right way to go, but anyway, that being said, spreads are different than money lines. And because I make my own number, I tend to not worry about what happens in baseball.
I'm going to bring up the board. I'm going to piggyback off of what I was saying and what you just said, and then we're going to get into what your eyes are seeing and what your Webby odds are seeing. Let me get this board up here. So I'm just going to go through the baseball real quickly, and rotation number 911, 912, for example. Overnight number had the White Sox and Velasquez at 150. The actual opening line that the public sees is 119. So a 31-cent difference right there with the Brash versus Velasquez there. Rotation number 921, 922. Miami at the Angels. Luzardo versus Sandoval. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. Didn't Sandoval start and stop, or was he? No, he was a scratch. He was a scratch. Second game of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's got.
he had he came out of spring, and they wanted to move him back a little bit just because of arm fatigue.
Okay, the Angels overnight 185, the actual number 148. So there was a 37-cent difference there. Here's a big one here. Kansas City at St. Louis, Lynch versus Hudson, an overnight number of 250, a corrected number of 156. So a 94-cent difference right there. So that's just what I'm talking about, where the overnight numbers are. And then basically, there are some casinos that allow their sharps to dictate the action overnight. And then there's what we call as a correction in this business and the actual numbers that are released. But I'm going to scroll this up to the top. There are two NBA games, Scotty. That doesn't mean that we have to play them, but the stage is yours, sir.
Well, in the NBA, Cleveland plays Brooklyn, and my number says that should be about 4.5, not 9.5. And I know that Brooklyn's been playing a little better. I know Cleveland has. I don't want to call them struggling down the stretch, but they haven't been quite as popular of a play down the stretch. But I will say this: these are games that matter because they're the play-in games or the play-in tournament. I think Cleveland shows up tonight. I think Cleveland plays good defense tonight, which is one of the things they've been faltering on, and that's how they've been stayed in the games. I don't think they win the game, but I do think that they don't lose by double digits, and that's what they would have to do tonight. They would have to lose by double digits. So I think the right side here is Brooklyn. Now, my question was going to be is whether I can actually get 10, or do I play it at 9.5? So I'm waiting to see whether I can get 10 as a number, and then they have to win. They can lose by 10 and still cover. So or push anyway. So that's what I'm waiting on that one. I think I don't know what your instincts tell you whether you can get to 10 or not, but it's still early, and that line. The line went from 8 to 8.5 to now 9.5, and I think it may go to 10. So.
I'm looking at the split 68% of the tickets, 58% of the money is coming in on the Cavs. I do think one of their players was ruled out. I'd have to dig deeper on that. I will say this, that if I personally was to release Cleveland right now, I would send out Cleveland plus the 10 minus the hook minus the 120 to get to the 10. 11 has to beat us there. I would have to assume late money's coming in on Brooklyn. I mean, they're the talk of the town. They're the team, and a win by Brooklyn sets up an amazing first round against my Celtics, Scotty.
Well, Jared Allen, the center's not playing tonight for Cleveland, but he hasn't been playing down the stretch anyway. So it's not like this team is going in there with the team that hasn't been playing, and so anyway, that's the way I looked at that game. So the other game, that Clipper Minnesota game, bothers me in a sense that I like Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a better team, but they're a young team, and they also, being a young team, are inexperienced. The Clippers, Paul George is going to play, so that changes the dynamics here a little bit. So I'm just going to stay away from that one and see about whether I can get the 10.5 if depending on what that. So I'll play that game if I get there. I don't think it's going to hurt me too bad if it goes from 9.5 to 9. I'm still takes double digits to beat me, which is what I'm going to look for from that. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the NBA.
Yeah, for me, I don't, again, it's going to be a sit and wait. I mean, I find it kind of intriguing that the Clippers are 3-point dogs there. I expect Brooklyn to win. Do they win by double digits, which is the perfect question that you're asking? And I'll be 100% honest with you, with such a big MLB slate and such a big hockey slate, most likely I will be passing on the NBA.
So, okay, getting to the Major League Baseball. So today is, I shouldn't say it's a unique day. It's not, but it's different. Today is a different day. And the reason it's a different day is because we have a couple of pitchers now making their second start, and that matters. The other thing that I should have said yesterday that we'll go into the Discord channel more in terms of detail is teams travel to different sites, and I put some information in there about travel and so forth, and I put it on the Webby's odds last night. Um, um, I believe in what I have named and nicknamed the carryover theory, right? So if a team is off of a series at home, for example, and it's a losing series at home, and then they go and play another series now on the road, they carry that forward. So the first game of that series matters. And it matters in a way that you wouldn't think it does, because the truth is that they tend to not win those games because they lost the series at home. They get on an airplane, they're all distraught, and they get to another place, and then they just play the same damn way they did. Now, that doesn't mean the second game, third game, fourth game is going to be the same, but the first game is usually that way. But it's also the similar scenario if a team is traveling to a new city after winning. They tend to do the same thing in that first game. So that's one thing to look at. And the other thing to look at, especially early in these games, is these starting pitchers do not. This is just monotony at this point. Starting pitchers are not robots. They do not go out and duplicate every single performance that they had the time before. So it's important to understand what they did the games before. Now, these first couple of games here with guys that are supposed to be number ones and aces for these teams, they a lot of times will be able to throw back-to-back good games. Some of these guys cannot. And here's a prime example of first play number one. First play number one, you got Tyler McGill pitching today against the Philadelphia Phillies and Zach Wheeler. Tyler McGill threw a great game the first time out. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is great. He filled in. He's doing a good job." And blah blah blah. Okay, he did. He threw a great game. Don't expect it again today. He is not a pitcher that averages a game score over 60. Now, you're going to hear me say game score, so let me explain what game score is. I don't use wins and losses. I don't use ERAs to determine how pitchers pitch. I will look at their performance on a game score basis, and game score is it's actually a statistic. You can go look at, you can go find it, you can look it up. And it's a simple formula, but it also talks about the quality of the performance of the pitcher. So it's all based off of a score rating and how many outs they gave up, how many hits they had, how many walks, how many runs, how many home runs, that kind of stuff. So it doesn't have anything to do with wins and losses. It doesn't have anything to do with earned runs. It has to do with total pitching performance. And if you're a 60, that's really good. If you're above 60, that's even better than really good. And then sometimes you get into these 70s and 80s, and that's just guys that threw two hitters or, shutouts and stuff like that. So Tyler McGill threw an over 60 the last time out. Now his normal average is going to be around 52, 53. So that's right around the normal type number that a pitcher will throw. So he's already had his big day. So in setting his new season up, he's either going to have an average start today or he's going to have a below average start today. And the thought process here is he's going to face the Phillies. And if he's going to face the Phillies with an average start or below average start, I like the Phillies. So, and then on the other side, who the Phillies got? Well, the Phillies got a Cy Young guy out there, and Zach Wheeler. That's who they got. So I like that. So I'm going to take the Phillies in the first 5 innings today, minus 115 on the run line. So they got to win by half a run. But I'm okay with that based off of what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at. So that's play number one is the Philadelphia Phillies minus a half a run and in the first 5 innings. Now, the second play that I have is going to be Cleveland going to Cincinnati. Now, my number shows that Bieber is a very, very good pitcher, and I think he's getting disrespected here. Last night when I was looking at the number, Circuit had it at 115. This morning I saw it at 107, and I've got Bieber at 145 because he's that good. So I like Bieber. I like Cleveland. Now here's the other thing: Cleveland's just woke up their offense. Their bats have just gone crazy in the last couple of games.
Crazy, 27 runs the last 2 games.
Yeah, they got one guy that can't get him out. So
the Quan man.
Yeah, you can't get him out. He's on base every time he comes up to bat. Just put him on base. Hell, he gets there anyway. So you got Bieber against the Reds, and the Reds aren't the same Reds. But I will tell you this: in Jeff and I's preview shows, I told everybody the Reds aren't as bad as everybody thought they were, and the Reds are going to go over their win total, and they went 2-2 in Atlanta. So this though is a spot here where you got Bieber against Maile, and it's a pitching mismatch. Now, Maile's a good pitcher, but he's not a Cy Young kind of pitcher. Bieber's a Cy Young kind of pitcher. And the Reds offense is 28th out of 30 teams right now. And the Cleveland offense is in the top 5. So give me Cleveland, give me the better pitcher, and give me the minus 107. I'm all in on Bieber today. So that's full game in that one. And then I got one more, Jeff, and it's the last one. And
do you want me to say it before you do or not?
You can go ahead and say it because I know you know where I'm going.
I think you're going with the Astros.
So here's what I decided to do on that game. I am going to the Astros. I am writing, and for those who haven't been here for a while, this is what we do. We play these games this way. If a team is struggling, you ride the struggle until they fix it. I've been on it since game 2, I think. Arizona's not hitting, and I've seen this before from this team, and I'm going to keep riding it. Now, the way you have to play it is twofold. Sometimes because they don't score, you're going to find the numbers are too big. So I'm playing this game, though, Jeff. I'm going to play this under. Now, that total is high. That's 9.5. So let's look at it legitimately. So if it's 9.5 and it's minus 120 at 9.5, but if you play it at 9.5 and you think about, okay, Arizona scores 1 or 2 runs. Okay, well, can Houston certainly score 8 or 9 to get it over the number? Well, maybe. But Bumgarner, for whatever the damn reason, he had a rough time the first time out. It wasn't pretty. He actually walked in a run that day. However, that's kind of his normal now. He threw a game score of 47 the first time out. So that's a little bit below his average. Last year was a 50. So I'm expecting him to throw at least a 50, if not a little better today. So I think Bumgarner might be able to hold these guys in there a little bit. I also think that with the rest and so forth of what the Arizona's had the last couple of days, their bullpen's not quite as taxed. So I like the idea that this could be a 9-0 game, and you know, but I'm going to play it under the number, under 9.5, instead of being on Houston. So those are my 3 plays.
You know, I look at this board, and as you said, some of these guys getting their second start, some are getting their first start. I'm an open and numbers junkie, and some numbers really popped out to me. Then the Jedi mind tricks. I'll go right to the top game, rotation number 901, 902. The Cubs at the Pirates. The Pirates home opener, and against a Cubs team that looked like gods. Should have swept the Brewers if it wasn't for some bullpen falter on Sunday. A Brewers team that I talked about. Wow, we'll get to them in a second. But I'm not a big Quintana fan. I'm not Drew Smiley as well. But a number that opened at 135, now 114. Just my eyes, I think the Cubs are being overpriced and overvalued on what they did over the weekend, and now they're coming to Pittsburgh. So a number that opened at 135, now 114. I would lean Pirates here. Again, I'm not releasing anything at this point in time. I just keep an eye on the Pirates there. I think you're spot on with the Mets and the Phillies. McGill was lights out against Wheeler. A game where now I think, though, egg on the Mets face. They're looking for McGill to keep them in this game so they can get at the Phillies back end. If I was diving into this game, I'd be looking at the Phillies first five minus the hook. I mean, you could play a 145, and that's what I want to explain is yesterday, okay, we lose San Diego first five minus the hook. We lost 5 cents. For the day, we were plus 10 cents because we had the plus 115 on Oakland. So we didn't lose the minus 145, which was the San Diego money line. So people would say, Jeff, why wouldn't you play the 145? Well, I don't want to be diving in all the time on the minus 145s or 150s. They add up. So I would be eyeing the Phillies minus the hook, first five there. Scotty, you got a starter for Atlanta?
No, not yet.
Okay, so Corbin coming in. Look, Atlanta struggled yesterday. Man, did they get against Washington, and all those runs, and Mr. Soto did nothing, which is another story there. Be eyeing to see who the Atlanta starter is here. San Diego, San Fran, Darvish versus Cobb. A good win by San Diego yesterday. Again, Darvish short favorite, which you have to respect. Scotty talking regression with San Fran there. Be interested to follow that. This one here, the Sox opened up at 115 yesterday against Walker. I said that one smelt a mile away to me. The Sox lose 3-1, bottom of the eighth. Javier Baez, a fastball that was up in the strike zone from Brazier, and let's just say Javier's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree, and boy, did he smoke that one. But I respect the opening number there. I'm not a big Rich Hill fan, but T. Alexander, not Doyle Alexander, for all you longtime Tiger fans there. But I would lean Red Sox there. But again, these are just talks about and leans. Here's the eye opener of the day, Scotty. Brash versus Velasquez. I was a big Vince fan way back in the day in diapers when he was with Phillies. I thought he was going to be the next coming, and injuries back and forth. He just isn't that guy. Open the overnight number 150, now one minus 119. A lot of respect for Seattle and Brash there. But again, if you trust the opening numbers and respect it, the value here is with the White Sox. I just don't trust Velasquez there, so we'll keep an eye on that. Oakland Rays, we're going to take our box to wire win with Oakland and run. I don't know much about Aller and Romero. You would expect the Rays on a bounce back here, but we'd be staying away from there.
Hey, that kid Romero, watch him pitch, Jeff. The Rays just bring up these guys that can just pitch, and this is the next one in line. He's like Shane Baz.
Well, I'll have 8 games going on. I will have we have the DirecTV, the MLB package, so we will be watching for sure. Good game in the Bronx here. Our guy Kukuch, first start for the Jays. They just keep on rolling. As Scotty and I have talked about, Manoah, who is their number 4, which I know he's not their number 4. Scotty knows they're not their number 4. They blanked the Yankees yesterday against Cortez. Yankees opened up at 120, now 114 there. Scotty, good call on the Bieber Male train. Overnight, Male and the Reds were minus 120. Now Bieber 107. Bieber got to the 5th with a shutout, gives up a run, and they pulled him in the 5th in his opener. He's only going to get longer My eyes initially would respect the 120. There is a flip with Bieber. I would only go into the Bieber side, I think, if in Cleveland with the first five. Here's what I say negatively against them: a team that is absolutely crushing the ball, 27 runs in the last two games, now travel to Cincinnati. It's going to be a hell of a game. That's a must watch. Milwaukee, Laura, Baltimore, not sure. And let's go to Baltimore for a second. Here they are, the whipping childs of everyone. And guess what happens? They get shut out last night. The Brewers offense, I talked about all preseason. You can wheel those pitches out there. And I said they had the dream run last year. And I'm not saying they're not going to win the division. I am going to say this, though. Their offense better wake up because that front end pitching right now is not coming out of the gates like they expected. So they open at 170, current line 154. Again, if you've been playing the Brewers, if their strength is supposed to be their back end. So if you expect their offense to open up and start, you might look at a full game minus a run and a half and get the plus money there. In the Angels, Luzardo versus Sandoval again. Big Luzardo fan. I have him at like 200-1 to be the MLB most wins this year at the Westgate. Electric stuff. He just could never stay healthy. They opened up -1. Angels opened up -185. The current opening line is 148. Some great value on Luzardo, but the Angels are rolling right now. So me and Scotty talked at length about that team. The big flip of the day, or I should say correction, Kansas City at St. Louis, Lynch versus Dakota Hudson. Overnight number of 250. They knew they'd only get Kansas City action. How do we get both sides? Well, we open the number at 156. Keep an eye on Kansas City today, please. Plus the 142. Just keep an eye. That's all. I didn't say to go run to the window. I said just keep an eye. Colorado, nice 6-4 win in extras yesterday at Texas. Cool versus Perez, overnight number of 130, which is now 155. And the game that Scotty talked about is his third play, Garcia versus Bumgarner. Bumgarner just a shell of himself. Arizona cannot hit the ball to save their soul. Here's where I have the alarm bells. I was hoping Garcia and Houston opened up a lot higher. That 135 to me, Scotty, is begging for Houston money, knowing the woes that Arizona's having. It is now at 150. I would not release a 150 on my eyes if I'm going to go into. We've been against Arizona the last two games, first five. If I'm diving in here, I will dive in with Houston minus the hook during the first five there. You can catch all our summaries, our leans, our plays at the closing bell at 4:30 today. Make sure you set your alarms for that. I'm going to quickly go through the hockey.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Just real quick, one little lean that I had that I scratched off at the very end is that San Francisco San Diego game. I'm not 100% opposed to taking San Francisco in the first 5 innings plus a half a run there. I think that's going to be like a 1-1, 1-0, kind of thing. And I think I think there's value in San Francisco today, by the way.
Okay. NHL, just a quick eye test. The Bruins against St. Louis opened at 135, 149, nothing there. Anaheim, Florida, no thanks. Buffalo, Toronto, no thanks. Philly, Washington, no thanks. Here's the flip of the day. Rotation number 4950, Carolina at the Rangers. Overnight Rangers -125. Carolina now -124 there. Respect the opening number, or do you respect the flip there? Ottawa, Detroit, no thanks. Here's another flip. Pittsburgh at the Islanders. Basically a pick 'em overnight. Now the Penguins -120 there. Nothing on San Jose. Edmonton, Minnesota. Minnesota opens at 130, now 136. Nothing much there. Tampa, your Lightning at Dallas. Dallas struggling down the stretch. Tampa opens at 170, now 143. New Jersey. Vegas, Vancouver, big game here for Vegas. Vancouver -110, now Vegas -130. Keep an eye on Vegas there. Scotty, closing thoughts.
as we get going here, there's a lot more tricks up my sleeve for these baseball things. I kind of introduced a couple of them today, but there's so many things that happen in Major League Baseball that, again, I think that Jeff and I will cover this sport better than anybody else will cover it, and hopefully, be able to explain it in a way that it makes sense to everyone. Anyway, that all being said, just sign up to be a part of our Discord channel if you don't want to, be a VIP with us or whatever. That's fine. We're taking the first 20 to get in. I think we only got a few spots left for the first 20, Jeff. And if you want to do that, then get in there right now, because the first 20 is going to be free. After that's $10 a month. But the point of it isn't that I want to charge $10 a month. The point of it is the filter on it. I don't want to put a link to the Discord channel out to the public and put it on Twitter and then have anybody and everybody just click it. I want people that want to learn. I want people that want to ask good questions. I want people that play the sports. I want them to understand how to do it. And we'll be here to help. We'll be here to answer the questions. You don't have access to guys like Jeff or I. You just don't. So how do you do it? You just get involved in being part of the Discord channel. You want to learn how to be better at life. Get involved in everything that you do. So I will say that, and lastly, I will say that yesterday, I thought you get a great summary on what ECI is, what it means to be like a VIP with us. We do things that people don't do. I mean, we're buying people tickets to go to games. We're sharing experiences with people. We're wishing people way more personalized service. Happy birthdays and telephone calls and phone numbers that you pass them out and people call you on the phone. This is not a business where we go and say, hey, you're just a statistic to us. Give me the money the next week. It's not really about that. I mean, sure, trust me. We don't do this to not make money, but at the same time that we do this, it's a business, it's a relationship, it's a trust. And that's the experience you get that you don't get anywhere else. And I guarantee you're not getting it anywhere else. You're not. You're just a number to everybody else, and you're just one of these people that come up and do, hey, I'm going to sign up, and it's $150 for this. Okay, great. I win, I lose, I bitch, I moan, or I'm happy. It's whatever. And it is what it is. You don't even know the guy's name. If it's a service, sometimes you go across and go, who in the hell's, I don't know where my picks are coming from. Trust me, guys. There's a experience level difference. That's why I'm gray. That's why Jeff has no hair. We do this stuff. We are in the right lanes. Jeff works his butt off when he's out in Vegas, and we have a good network. And what I'm going to tell you is, now is the time, and I say this in an exclusivity kind of way. Being first is best, and what I'm going to tell you is this is getting ready to blow up, guys. And once it blows up, I'm not sure where it's going to go. I'm not going to stop it from going anywhere, but it's going to go, and you guys are on the ground floor. And that is what is making this a special opportunity that I know that people will go, oh, okay, they're just selling shit again. No, it's not that. Trust me, it's not that. Anyway, that's my wrap up for this morning.
I always say I am making 18 cents an hour, and I'm not lying or I'm not exaggerating. I truly am, and I'm okay with it. It is, and what Scotty is saying is truth. We've been in these lanes for almost 7.5 years now on social media. I have clients here that have been with me for 7 of those years. Okay. And he talks about the opening day tickets. He talks about the playoff tickets. He talks about family members at ECSI have my personal phone number. I'm getting texts at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. People are talking from the West Coast. When I have clients in Australia, they're hitting me up at 4 a.m. because it's morning and early afternoon in their time. It's crazy. The wife looks at me like, Jeff, You're going to shut that damn phone off.
Jeff, that's why we got Discord now. Get rid of your phone. No, I'm just kidding.
But we are a service second to none. We are a name brand reputation second to none. 100% transparency from all of us here on that team. And it is a family. Once you sign up to ECSI, whether it's $10 for the Discord, whether it's $2 a day and $59.99 a month for text and email VIP delivery plus the Discord channel, regularly $375 a month, by the way, guys. But we're trying this just because we want to build a team. We want to build a force. We want 2, 3, 4, 500 people in the Discord channel. What we're going to try to do is, once we officially launch this, very simply is we do the breakfast bankroll. I do the midday market report. Me and Scott do the closing bell. And then if the schedules and the Discord channel goes like the way we want it, we'll have a Q&A every night, if possible, maybe from 6 to 6:30 before you guys get to the window. Hey, how come you didn't release this? Hey, I love this. Why did this line move? Hey, what's the weather report in Cincinnati? Is it a go? Is it going to be delayed? That's what we're here for. No one, I repeat, no one does and puts the effort in that myself and Scott do. And so if you can't afford $2 a day, okay, so well be it. Stay on social medias, go on to Facebook where you get all those freebies, and then you can come limping over here saying, guys, why didn't I join? I don't know. Opportunity's knocking, okay? Your ass is lying on the couch. Are you going to get up and answer the door, or you're going to let it pass you by? That's all I'm going to say. So with that said, set the alarm for 4:30 for the closing bell. And before then, if you do wager early this afternoon, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest. From Scotty Webb at Webby20 MLB. And to Marty Lowe, happy 19th birthday, LOL. Have a blessed day, and we will see you all here at 4:30.